I'm currently training for an Ironman, and when I started training, I had no idea what I was really getting myself into. Looking back, there are 5 things I wish I had known, things that would have made me seriously reconsider if this journey was worth it. First up, the sheer amount of time it consumes. When I first started, I had no idea how much of my life this would take over. We're talking hours and hours each week. Swimming, biking, running, and then recovering. You have to be ready to sacrifice weekends, evenings, time with friends and family. My life became centered around training. It's like a part-time job, but instead of paying you, it demands everything you've got. Next is the constant muscle soreness and overall fatigue. Training this much means that your body is in a perpetual state of recovery. And it's not just the physical soreness, it's the mental exhaustion too. I used to think I could train for an Ironman and still have energy left for other activities, but nowadays it's really hard to get me motivated for any type of energy-consuming activity. Simple things like hanging out with friends or even focusing on schoolwork feel way harder.
Swimming is, in my opinion, the mentally toughest part of Ironman training. The race itself is already intimidating, but the training, it's relentless and incredibly monotonous. Lap after lap of staring at the black line at the bottom of the pool with nothing to distract yourself besides perhaps dodging other swimmers. And training at a public pool only makes things worse. Once the kid literally jumped onto me in the middle of the lap. And then there's these people who block off the entire lane, doing super slow backwards butterfly strokes or whatever. It's a constant test of patience and focus. And if I'd known just how mentally exhausting and repetitive this part would be, I might have thought twice about starting.
Let's talk about cost. Ironman training is extremely expensive. The race ticket alone was about $800, and then there's the gear. While I don't even have a race bike yet, this is just my old mountain bike. I'm planning to get one on the cheaper end for about $1,000. On top of that, there are the endless costs for things like running shoes, nutrition, swimming goggles, and, although not essential, a wetsuit. It all adds up to thousands of dollars, and if I'd known how much I'd be spending, I might have questioned if it was really worth the investment. Finally, the health side of things. Training for an Ironman is not healthy. You burn an insane number of calories, and keeping up with that demand often means turning to junk food. I've had to rely on sweets and processed snacks just to avoid losing weight. It's a constant struggle to maintain weight, and the reality is far from the image of peak health that most people have of endurance athletes. So, those are the things I wish I'd known before I started Ironman training. It's a life-changing experience, but it's also one that demands so much more than I ever anticipated. If you're thinking about it, make sure you're prepared for the reality. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about the journey, drop them in the comments.